Hello and welcome to Creating a Brag Book Lesson 4. This is Danielle Mitchell with Above Average University. In this lesson, you will learn how to create a brag book and how to use a brag book. So, what is a brag book? A brag book is a binder or a portfolio that you are consistently adding to as your career progresses. So what is a brag book? A brag book is a binder or portfolio that you are constantly adding to as your career progresses. And when I say binder, I don't mean like the binder that you use when you're in college or in high school. I mean like more of a portfolio binder, and that is normally black, and it's either leather or pleather or something like that, and you can get it from Staples, Kinko's, Amazon, but you want a more professional looking binder portfolio. In the brag book, you are going to have before and after pictures from different events as well as data, numbers, what you did before you started a project and what you did after the project. You're going to show your progress and specifically how your input helped to make the company, event, or project better. Thank you messages from multiple people within your department. That can include different people in your employee department, people outside of your department, people that are your clients or third parties. And you're also going to have one-page summaries of major projects, and you're going to categorize them by company, project, time, importance, or relevancy. And I want to touch on that. So that can be a lot of different things for a lot of different people. Maybe in 2012, you didn't have a full-time job and you had 3 part-time jobs or 3 contract jobs. So you don't want to put them specifically by company name because you don't have as many projects for one company, but maybe you want to put marketing or finance. And then maybe you started a job and you started working full time, but still doing certain things on the side. So now you want to combine everything you did with one company in one area, and then you want to have another one-off category for 2015 finance or 2015 marketing. So as long as you know how you're organizing things and are able to go in and bring the material as you need it, there is no right or wrong answer. But make sure that it works for you and that you're constantly adding to it. And then you want to have leave behind copies. You want to have multiple copies of all of the items that are in your portfolio, just in case someone says, hey, can I have a copy of that? You're ready to go. And you're not worried about giving your original copy and them not giving it back or it getting lost or you having to ask them to make a copy before you're able to give it to them. I mean, if you're in an interview or at a company office, great, but what if you are at an after-work networking event and you have your portfolio? You just want to always have too many items and not need them, than have the need for items and you aren't able to give them to the person you need to give them to. Why is it important? One, it's important because you are going to stand out. Most people don't have brag books. So you are going to stand out so much in a great way. It's also helping you to bring your SMART goals to life in your interviewing setting. Imagine you're going through an interview and you are killing it. And then as you're giving the results for what you did in an interview question, you give out a one-sheeter summarizing the project that you're talking about with pictures showing either what you did at the event, how well the event went, or data showing what the client looked like before you took over and after you took over, or before you implemented a strategy and after you took over a strategy. In an interview, If you're a good interviewer, that sometimes means that you're a good storyteller. You are able to convey what you did better than other people. But sometimes people lie or embellish what they did. And it's really hard to confirm what's going on, especially if someone is interviewing from a different company and you can't really just call someone and ask about all these different details. Especially if these details are one company away, 2 companies away, and that person no longer works there or their boss has moved on. It's really sometimes hard to verify these stories. So when you have facts, a fact sheet, you are basically bringing your receipts to the interview. And you are going to stand out so much more than everybody else. It also helps if you need to file for a dispute on anything. And when I say file a dispute, that can be officially or unofficially. You can have a manager come in and trying to give you a mid or end of the year evaluation, and you're saying, I did more things than what they wrote down. And it may be an accident, it may not. And you having this brag book gives you the receipts you need to prove your case. Or you may have a manager that just flat out doesn't like you and actually wants to get you fired. Well, if you have data that you are doing your job well and above and beyond, then it makes it that much harder for them to fire you and that much easier for you to prove your case, whether you need to get up from under them or move to a different department or apply for the promotion. All in all, having well-documented items of what you're doing and how you're going through your week, your month, your year in your career is only beneficial. So let's go more in depth with what's in it. So first, your resume. You're going to have your resume, and you want to make sure that you have at least 5 copies in it in your pocket, in the pocket of the binder. So there's going to be a portfolio. You're going to have different clear insertables, and that's where you're going to put all of your stuff in. You're going to want to have multiple copies of your resume. You always want to have 5, just in case you are going to an interview and it turns into a group interview. Instead of them having to stop and make more copies, it's a great idea to just have them already there. Or what if it's more casual and you're just talking to someone that is higher up and they're saying, can I have a copy? Well, if you have 5, when you get low, you know to print more. Or it might turn into a group and they're asking, do you have 3 more? It's always great to have it. And you also want to always keep it updated. Rule of thumb, if you haven't updated it after you've been on a new job for 3 months, it's time to go ahead and update it. I say 3 months because although a lot of companies have these rules where you need to be in a position for 18 months or a year, that doesn't mean that there aren't exceptions to the rules. And if you are killing it, you just want to always be prepared and not be blocked from a new job opportunity because you took too long to update your resume and now the portal is closed. And I actually know people that that's happened to. And it's best to be prepared so that you don't have to have these unfortunate circumstances come to you. Or in other words, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And as far as resumes come, some people say that you should have a 1-page resume and only use that. I don't agree with that. I think that you need to have a 1-page resume for when different online portals request one, give them one. If they're requesting one, it could be in the back end where if it's more than 1 page, they'll spit it out and they won't even receive your resume and you'll be on the throwaway pile. But if it doesn't say that, then you may want to have a longer version. You may want to have your entire career story on piece of paper. And for me, I would definitely use that when I'm meeting with people in person. You have the one page for formalities and maybe for them to keep, but if they are trying to vet you and see if you have the experience that you need for the salary, for the promotion, I would go ahead and have a resume that showcases all of the experiences that you have. This is especially sure when you are going against the grain. And I mean that as in you are one of the younger people applying for a position that has a really big title. Or you don't look like everyone else. Or you are trying to get a promotion within your company and people don't know if you're qualified, if you have enough years of experience. You need to have a resume showing that you have everything that you need for that job, and that one pager may not be able to fit everything. So I have both in my brag book, and I suggest that you do too. Cover letter. So cover letters are unfortunately something that has to be a little bit more detail specific, industry specific than the resume. So for a resume, you can get away with changing the top part where you're asking for the profile, and you can, in the profile section, change it to a specific industry and just change one word from marketing to finance and be done with it. Well, for a cover letter, you are not as lucky and you have to really get detailed. So I would actually create multiple cover letters. If you're trying to get a career in marketing, I would have one for marketing. If you're trying to get one for sports marketing, I would have one for sports marketing. And it says I'm interested in sports marketing, not just sports, or sports finance. If you're looking for consumer packaged goods marketing, I would say that as well. You want to get as specific as possible because that is what people are looking for. When you get to that time of where people are asking for cover letters and they're trying to sort through, they want to make sure that your goals, your wants, your needs line up to what the company is providing in the position that you're being put in. People want employees that are going to stay around for a while, or if they don't stay in that one position, they stay within the company. So you need to present that picture to the people that are looking to hire from you. And cover letters that are detail specific and industry specific help to show that story. For me, I have a standard cover letter that I have just in case, but for me, I've gotten more success using my biography, and that's what I start out with. So my biography is just like a cover letter, only it's in third person, and it talks about what my ultimate goal is, and then it gives a little bit more background about what I've done before, and how everything I've done before is basically leading up to this position or this contract or whatever it is that I'm quote unquote detail specific about. So for me, I have both, but I'm in the marketing industry, so people like it when you're a little bit more creative. I've had a customer that she liked the biography, but she wanted a cover letter too, just in case they asked for it because her industry wasn't as creative. And so I say use what's best for you. You know your industry best, but take note of what I had. And in our cover letter section, we've gone through what is the difference and what they look like. And you can do the best for you or do like me and have both. Before and after pictures. Before and after pictures are so important because they share and tell a story that cannot be interpreted. It can't be argued. If you did a great job, numbers will show. The pictures will show. It's nothing to dispute. And it's important that you have that, especially when you are taking over a client, or before you have come up with a new strategy and you want to see how it goes. take a picture before of what's going on so that when it goes well, you can use this to argue whatever you need, whether it be a new job, a new position, a new salary, more vacation time. You need that before and after stuff. And I would use before and after for client data, social media, digital marketing, websites, math, time that it normally takes for something to get done versus the time it takes after you've implemented a cost-cutting or time-saving strategy. There's no wrong or right answer. And if you want to go above and beyond, I would start writing one-page summaries of the success stories in the changes that you are using with the pictures. So have of the pictures and have the summaries go hand in hand. Client testimonies. Now this is big. Client testimonies can go a long way because this is straight from the horse's mouth. If your client is saying you're doing a good job, you're doing a good job. Letters of recommendations from clients can go even longer and mean even more. If you can get a client to write a formal letter, a recommendation for you, go for it. And you'll be surprised how many people will do so if you just ask. And I would do it now versus when you're trying to leave a company or you're getting demoted or fired or they're cutting costs or something tragic happens. If you are asking them when it's a positive time and there's no pressure or time constraints, then you can help them to write it. A lot of people will say, hey, can you just write it for me and I'll look and improve it? If you can get a client to say that, you could basically write your own letter recommendation, and that will be the most bomb letter recommendation you will ever have. And a lot of times they're okay with it and they're cool, but you won't know if you don't ask. And there's other ways around it. So maybe you work in a confidential environment. Well, ask for an anonymous letter recommendation, or say I'll only use your first initial or your first and last initial. There's ways to work around it if you just really need the letter recommendation and what they say, or if you promise I will never publish it, it'll never go online. There's a lot of ways that you can still get what you want while using secrecy if that is what it comes to. But for a lot of industries, that level of secrecy is not real and you don't need it and they're not going to ask it, and it's perfectly fine. Oh, and I would also, in here I put keep text messages. So if a client texts you something super happy, like just promoting you and praising you, screenshot that and you could put a collage of text messages together, or even just that one text message. Great accolades can come in any way. It doesn't have to be very formal. If it's great, it's great. And honestly, those text messages may mean even more because those are just organic, genuine, real life praises that came without being forced, without asking for it. And it shows how genuine your client really loves you. How awesome is that? Thank you emails from company employees. I love this because this is record emails of praise. This is official emails that are sent to your professional email address. And if you're concerned about, oh, I can't keep emails because of confidentiality, okay. Cut out the confidentiality part, copy and paste it to a Word document. What's important is who sent it and their title. You want to make sure that you're not getting the same praises just from your boss, but you're getting it from other team members, people that are not in your department, people that are third parties to your company, people that don't work with you but saw that you're doing something well and just wanted to give you praise and thank you for your hard work. All of those show a number of different things. They show that you're good to work well with others. They show that you're a contributing member to the team. And they show that other people appreciate your work. And adding your wins. You want to make sure that you get in some sort of system of adding your wins, whether it be weekly, monthly, or quarterly. You want to add your wins of what you're doing. You want to include the length of the project if that's what you're on, and you can break up the project and just start adding wins by month or wins by week or wins by quarter. But you want to make your wins. You want to include details like, okay, I'm on a project, this is how many people on the project, these are the goals that we hit, this is reality, especially if you are superseding your goals. But even if you're close, if you're 90% of your goals, then include what last year's was. If last year's was they hit 70% to goal and you hit 90% to goal, that is a great difference in the right direction. So let's talk about that. You also want to point out if you created new initiatives, if you started a weekly newsletter for the team, or if you started a Facebook group, or if you started a recycling or a volunteer. Anything that you started, that is big, and you want to talk about that and make sure that that is something that you're adding to your brag book. And remember, all stories should revolve around you. At the end of the day, this is going to be used for the progression of your career in either corporate America or in getting contracts and stuff for your own business. So you need to make sure that every story you're doing showcases what you're doing, what you did, how you implemented something, how you were good to work with people, how you were good to listen to others or listen to your client and implement something that they were okay with. You want to show that, hey, I am a bomb person and I have my receipts to prove it. Now your homework is going to be to create a brag book, and your brag book needs to be, again, a portfolio that looks very professional. So one of those leather type ones, or if it's another very professional type that you want to add your own twist, go ahead, but you want to stick away from those binders that you had in high school and college. Create categories. Create categories on how you want to split it up. I gave you some suggested categories, but you can go crazy with it. You know your industry better than me, and you know your work experience better than me, and you know how you're able to quickly fill out your brag book better than me. And I want you to fill in at least 3 categories to get it started. But moving forward, every month, let's start keeping a positive and every month, let's make a conscious effort to start filling in our brag book and making it big. And let me know when you guys start actually using it. The first time I used my brag book in an interview, they were blown away, and I actually got the job. So I was really excited. And then when I talked to the other 2 people that were hired, they gave me the most money. So that was really exciting, guys. So this works, and I'm excited. So this works, and I'm excited to see the pictures and hear about your brag book. Make sure that you put any questions or any statements or talk about your experience creating the brag book in our Facebook groups, Melanin Business and AverageBlack Girl. Thanks, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.